Jonas is the head of innovation and technology for the UN. Second trip to South Africa.
True.
You were here in July with Drew and all the celebs. And you've believed in this project for quite some time. Right. So I want to give you the mic.
I get several requests every day from startups that wants me to assist them in developing their business model and advise them on their journey forward. Before my position with the UN, I spent 20-some years starting companies, crashing companies, investing in companies, and advising companies around the world. Now, whenever we get such a request, when I get a request from a startup, I have to basically share that with the head legal of the United Nations. So far in my very short career in the UN, 6 years, I have received 2 approvals. One of those were for Rudolf and the exchange. Now, being a diplomat is not different from being anybody else. We all have kids, families, and so on and so forth. And if we have kids, they might be engaged in sports or other activities. To finance the club activities, many times the clubs will try to acquire support from the local society. In Sweden, for example, that might be expressed by having football players, aged 7 to 15, selling lottery tickets outside the local supermarket. Now, one of the things that the virtual stacks brings to the table is that we can forget about that. We don't need that anymore. Because basically, as a club with multitude of players, we can do the virtual stacks. And that creates value for the player, it creates value for the club, and dear God, it creates tremendous value for you as a parent. You no longer will feel obliged to buy that freaking lottery ticket outside the supermarket every Friday. And this is something that is true wherever you live and wherever you are in the world at the moment. And if you look at the Sustainable Development Goals that we at the UN actually designed a few years back, the SDGs, we tried to sort of categorize problems that, regardless of where you are, if you're sitting in Sweden or in South Africa or in Sri Lanka or in Moscow, you'll encounter these problems. And basically, the exchange and Rudolf, what they have been trying to do is to solve some of these problems that you face in your everyday life. That's one side of why we are excited to be part of this journey. Another side is that, as you know, the UN, right? We build roads, hospitals, we feed people, we do all this kind of thing. And right now in the world, the trend is that we donate less to the UN because we are looking for true value. We want to see, if I give $1 to you, what are you going to do exactly with that dollar? And so far, as the UN, we've been not that successful in basically providing our donors with this information. Now imagine the project stack, where we could utilize the exchange to do stacks for a particular hospital in a particular region to raise funds to basically build that hospital or that school or help those people who don't have daily access to water. In the prolongation of this, in my head, I consider this a project, but it's an enterprise. In the prolongation of the enterprise of the exchange, the stacks and the virtual stacks and Turncoin, what I see here is tremendous potential to engage everybody, to make everybody a neighbor. So regardless if you're sitting in a coastal village in Kenya without daily access to drinking water, or if you're sitting in Canada where climate change now is sort of eating up your land, we can all come together and help each other by utilizing this technology. And there, I do believe that Rudolf has been the visionary to basically predict the future in that way. And for that, I'm very grateful to be here today. And I was grateful to be here before. And as it looks, I might be here for a very long time since there are no flights out of South Africa. So get used to me.